up, let it ride. Yeah, adoption pod.
Nick and Mike, yeah, they on the air. Breaking walls with that crypto flair. Deep dives roll, yeah, minds aware. Good vibes float everywhere. Tapping now, yeah, the stream go live. Big ideas, feel the energy rise. If you here right now, then you ride on time. Welcome to the future, enjoy the ride. Hands up, yeah, let it low. Sound check, let the people low. Check, yeah, feel the vibe, let the beat unfold. When it drops, yeah, the story told. Adoption pod, yeah, here we go. Crypto flows, let the knowledge grow. Breaking chains, watch the future glow. Adoption pod, they run the show. Let's go. Yeah, da 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 da. Da 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 da. Yeah. Pioneers with minds so bright, lighting paths in the crypto night. Questions fly, answers ignite, changing lives left and right. From the blocks to the blockchain age, real talk when they hit that stage. If you're learning something, then mission complete. Mass adoption start with a seed. Adoption pod, yeah, here we go. Crypto flows, let the knowledge grow. Breaking chains, watch the future go. Adoption pod, they run the show. Blocks are building, truth reveal. Digital world, a brighter field. Yeah, masses learning, wounds are healed. This is the future, the deal is sealed. Locked in, adoption pod. Yeah, here we go. Crypto flows, let the knowledge grow. Breaking chains, watch the future glow. Adoption pod, they run the show. Run it. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Adoption pod. Adoption pod. Adoption pod.
Yo, welcome to another episode of the Adoption Pod. It's episode 51. We are
That's
almost at the
crazy.
1 year mark. Yeah, we got to do something special for the 1 year mark. I don't know. Maybe we'll just wear like birthday party hats or something.
Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. Every week I'm trying where can I set up that's a little bit better? And I just haven't
Where
quite nailed
in the
yet.
world is Mick setting up for this?
But
show?
I'm really comfortable. I'm in an armchair with my feet up. So I'm digging this.
All you're missing is a cigar and you're good to go. That would be like the ultimate late night vibe, right?
Welcome to the show, everyone. Alfred
Hitchcock.
Whatever. What you say on this show? Well, it's good to see you. It looks like you had a nice weekend.
It's been crazy. I don't know what's wrong with me. I always find something else to do with my time. So I have a new project now, building a game. And it is a monumentous task to do by yourself. Which I don't think I'm going to be able to do it by myself. I'm going to get it to a point where maybe I can.
Experimenting.
Yeah.
We're playing. We're kids in a candy store.
It's so funny. It started off I'm going to make a simple little fun game because I saw somebody else made something cool. And then and I started making the story and it became really big.
You got obsessed. You went down the rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah.
See you in a couple of years.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's my life now. And we're doing a lot of things. And again, it's AI, man. Using AI has things that would take a team months to do.
Yeah.
I did in 30 minutes. So
insane.
Absolutely insane. And speaking of building really cool stuff, you're building Artisan Cash. Manny's got Blend. Let's bring up Manny and talk about what he's got going on in the space. What's going on, Manny? Welcome.
GM. Nice to see another Canadian here, which is great. Kind of enough.
Yeah.
I noticed it this morning because I think I creeped your ex, and I think you saw you with a Tim Hortons cup, and I was like, all right.
This is my coffee this morning.
I mean, I don't love Tim Hortons, but I will still choose it over any other coffee.
It's one of those things where it's we don't love it, but whatever. What else we got? Bring Dunkin' Donuts. We're waiting for Dunkin' Donuts to come back.
It's true, but I think Canadians are very patriotic to our stuff. It is, we'll choke it down even if we hate it, kind of thing. But it's I think Harvey's, right? That's pretty Canadian, and I think people still go to Harvey's just to make sure we support the Canadian burger chain. So
yeah,
I feel like there's so many burger places these days. Like just like the options are limitless. You want a smash burger? Everyone's got smash burgers now.
A&W in
Smash
Canada
burger.
has smash burgers. Not the
Yes,
greatest, but
they
I still
suck.
like
Okay. I don't feel so bad now, but still. Well, thanks for coming on tonight, Manny. This is, I think, the second or third time we've met now. We're really excited to be partnered with Blend Money as a part of our tech stack, and met Manny a couple weeks ago on a call. Really love what they're building. More boring stuff like we are, right? Like I really want to get your history and how you got into the space, and did you have a boring entrance into the space and it kind of led to this, or did you come in like a degenerate? Definitely want to get there, but we're building the infrastructure, right? Like the connecting rails between Web 2 and Web 3 that's really going to push adoption forward. And you're building those products that are going to change, you know, the business model of banks, right? Right now, their business model is the customer. We use your money, we make the yield, and you're offering products that will entice and hopefully, you know, help people crawl out of, you know, dire circumstances. These lower end banked people are the most, you know, harmed in the whole system. And by earning their own yield in some of these things, you know, we can really help level the playing field maybe a little bit. So excited to have you here. Let's start off with, how the heck did you get into crypto? What did you do before crypto? And then where did you go wrong is, I guess, what I'm
asking. You know, my journey is kind of interesting. If you follow me on X, one of the posts that kind of went viral is like, I grew up like in British Columbia and, you know, born into a farming family, blueberry farm, all that kind of good stuff, right? Like classically trained as a computer scientist and discrete mathematician. And then from there, like I said, I'm like my family's been in Canada for, you know, we have a heritage over 100 years. So I'm like Canadian. And what does a true Canadian boy do? He joins the first like big Canadian company when it was early, and that was BlackBerry basically. And so that like led me into like being obsessed with like technology. And sadly, I'm old enough, I guess, being in the space for a long time and being in tech, you know, your first inkling of what is this decentralized like primitive called Bitcoin. So early adopter of Bitcoin, still hold it, for sure changed my life more than like lucky. I tell people lucky, being 40 years old, you're lucky in the space, right? Get your first job is like an HTML developer, Java, all that stuff, right? You know, 80s babies, we fell into a lot of luck. So there's a lot of luck that goes into the 80s babies' careers, right? And then, you know, in Ethereum from there, contributed into some big like DAOs, like developer DAO, led that for a while. And I really wanted to get really into like this whole like space about Web3. Just like modern Canadian, I like to tinker. I heard on the back day you're building a game. So yeah, everything in good in life happens with tinkering, right? And so you make some good mistakes and bad mistakes as you're trading things, and you realize like at the end of the day, like decentralizing and having like the right to your own keys and privacy is like the right primitive to go, which led me into like Bitcoin and all that. And then, you know, linked up actually with another fellow Canadian, Hart, and the Risk Labs team. And they were building a protocol that really made me very like curious. Is like, what's this idea of like finding truth on chain? And so I joined there very early, was lucky to like scale that thing over to $2 billion. And the first, like one of the projects that we got to contribute, which was like many, but a big one is like Polymarket. So I got to see Polymarket grow from zero to huge. Shout out to Shane, and deserves every single success. But that's like was the first entry of like really looking at like how do you scale these systems, and that is like what inspired us to build Blend. So how do you build a prediction market? You know, need to be completely decentralized. You need to understand like dispute resolution to that degree. How do you do this in a really compliant way? How do you do this in a non-custodial way? If you look at Polymarket or even Blend, all of our things are singly managed accounts using Gnosis safes. So is Polymarket. So we've taken inspiration all the way. If Polymarket can hold billions, Blends can hold billions, right? So these are models that we've learned. And then the other thing is like the joke is like if you do a job really, really well, they reward you with more work. And so I went on the other side and helped the Risk Labs team scale a product called Across, which powers now Uniswap, PancakeSwap, so intent-based bridging. And that was the inspiration again for Blend, because we realized, like, how do you work in a non-custodial way so that you're never in the flow of funds? How do you help teams to build compliance, decentralized systems? And so, like, artisanal cash and all the things that you guys can integrate this thing without worrying about it. And so we remove all the complexities. Like, when you plug into Blend, you don't need to worry about bridging. You don't need to worry about singly managed accounts. You don't need to worry about OFAC screening, open sanction screening, transaction monitoring, all the things that require for you to build things. And that was literally that's like how my career. So it was boring in that sense. And I tell people, very lucky, just falling into things and like, just like modern Canadian, just tinker. Like, I just tinkered on a lot of things, and it's like, oh, and curiosity. Again, if you tinkered with AI long and early enough here, you would have made a big bag, right? And you don't need to be like right. You need to be early. Is why I always tell people, you need to be early. You don't need to be right.
I feel like we are early. Like I've been in the space for what? I'm going on my 9th year now. And I feel like we're still so early, especially when you look at like what's happening now, which is like the pipelines of payments, stable coins, and like actually having crypto at a point where people will be using on day-to-day, transaction purposes, which was like what we've been wanting forever. Like, but like, I don't think like mass adoption in my eyes still really hasn't happened yet. And I think that's going to be, at least for stable coins, mass adoption, because everybody will be using it. It'll be happening, underneath the hood, without people realizing it. And more places like Canada just had a new stablecoin law. So the Bank of Canada is basically managing stablecoins, a new law, and Visa and MasterCard are already like, settling transactions on a blockchain for multiple blockchains. Like, this is the future of the way we move money. It's like the way to move money globally across borders and everything like that. And that's what money is. So if you look at history and you look at what money is on a fundamental level, it has to move through time and space really well. And stable coins really up that space, because moving gold on ships back in the days, ships sank more often than not. So that's where fiat money came from, paper money. So they move through time and space a lot better. And now with stablecoins, we're upgrading that from the traditional finance system we have now.
Yeah, I mean, I can give you like my intake, and I like without dropping like some of the bigger names that we're in NDAs with, but like Blend is seeing like the biggest primitive shift that we've ever seen. So when we started Blend, we've done 12 audits. I think we spent well over maybe $300,000 like building out this like secure system. And when we started, we thought like only classical Web3 neobanks are kind of eat the world. But what we're really seeing is that traditional state businesses that operate in fiat and HCAs are coming on chain. And so we're seeing flux in our inbox 24/7 saying, hey, we're X fintech company. We're ready to do lots of money. We're going to switch our whole back end to stablecoin rails. And we would like some way to have a compliance way to connect to like regulated institutions, right? I think you saw my tweet about like, it's all about counterparty and who could they hold accountable, right? That's the big shift. When you bring like crypto money, we're early because not enough money. I really don't feel like we have enough money on chain. But if like a big player like big fintech comes on board with billions of dollars, that's going to change really quickly. But we're not going to notice it, which is going to be we did our job correctly, right? And so I think the right primitive is stablecoin adoption and interoperability and movement of money has won. And we're not early on that. I think we're early on fintechs just adopting it, the back end and making it completely seamless so we don't see that. And I think if we do our job right, by end of this year, Blend will be pushing more than billions of dollars on chain quickly. It'll be very boring money. You're like, what's very boring money moving from like, I have a contractor in China that I ordered something from. I need to send money quickly. Well, sometimes they won't send you the money till it clears via wire, and that could take a week. Well, in stable coins, it settles instantly, so they can put it on the shipment and move it to you right away. So like those are boring use cases. But that helps businesses move faster and deliver goods.
They do. I remember my parents doing COD for like their inventory growing up. Cash on, like paying cash to delivery men with these like hand-checked invoices. We've come a long way.
Like I think stable coins are going to replace the SWIFT system, how countries interact with each other, because we're moving into like a a multipolar world, where everything's more, everyone doesn't, maybe the trades, we don't trust this country as much, so that's where the blockchain comes in. You don't have to trust them anymore. You just settle everything, especially like what happened during Russian and Ukraine. You had like Canada and US hold some Russian assets, so they weaponized the dollar. The US did, and what we can to prevent that now with the trade, and it's done, it's the transaction's done in finality. Now I have a question for both of you guys, actually, because you guys are both building this whole neobank. You guys say there's no custody, so how, when it comes to counterparty risk, how are you guys protected? How's every party involved protected with funds? Because like the customer is going to hold their funds at the whole time. At what point does the neobank come in, and then the actual vendor that the money will eventually go to? Like, where is the protection for you guys, and where's the protection for the vendor?
Mick, you want to take that? Or you want me to take it?
Yeah, I mean, so I think we're all in different positions, right? So we are completely self-custody. So at no point, during the custody journey do we custody users' funds, although some of our partners do under the hood. So that is all like, I'm the marketing girl. I'm not going to be able to explain that technically, but we take a KYC up front basically, and then pass that information on to our partners down the line, who can then do the different actions that different, I guess, banking, fintech actions that you would want them to do. So for us, we are heavily reliant on the Mannys and the Blends of the world having done all that compliance work. And that's where we're seeing this kind of like uprising of the new, neobanks, and most of them are card spend. I harp on that a lot. But it's getting easier and easier because of these infrastructure partners. Back when I worked with Sedona, we had custodial wallets. We tied into somebody else's money transmitter licenses, right? Like there's a lot of borrowing and sharing of licensing in the background. And that's how this stuff is able to spring up as quickly as it is. And then Manny, I'm sure your perspective is different because you guys do have to be completely compliant, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the way we help fintechs on both sides. You can be a custodial fintech that can plug into Blend, or you can be non-custodial. So we'll talk non-custodial. What does it mean to be non-custodial? It means that you own the keys to your wallet. You own those keys, right? And Blend takes it almost via like a steroids, and we take it with steroids on purpose, meaning your privy wallet or your decentralized wallet owns like as a Blend Gnosis safe. What does that mean? Like you're a one-to-one signer on this Gnosis safe, so you own it. What does that mean? If artisanal cash disappeared tomorrow or Blend disappeared tomorrow, you could literally go to safe.global.com on any chain and you could get your money out. And that is the freedom. So if a bank like crippled today in real world, how would you get that money out?
Is that basically a smart contract? Like it's locked into a smart contract?
That's what like if you do you know what Gnosis safes are? Like Gnosis safes
not familiar with it.
Yeah, I mean they're the biggest treasury company in the world. So Blend theoretically give everyone a Gnosis safe. So you're a one-to-one owner of a Gnosis safe. All treasury companies will run on Gnosis safe. So and what that allows you to do is completely decentralized. You can go to safe.global on any chain, and Blend operates a mesh network. So that means like Mix wallet on Monad is the same address on Base, which is the same address on Ethereum mainnet, which is great because then Blend doesn't pool the money in. It allows you to have individual, like if for example, Artisanal Cash made it like an earn product that had 3 allocations, some on Monad, some on Base and Ethereum mainnet, you would individually own those positions in those safes on those 3 chains. What does that allow you? If a bridge drops away or goes away, you can still get your money from, there's no classical bank run in the Blend system. And this is how far we take the non-custodial banking super serious, because it's like you own your money, you're working in this non-custodial way. It allows Mick and other vendors to operate much more freely without getting licensed in every single jurisdiction, because they have all of these freedoms, right? And eventually, when you put it into a yield product, if you pick, it does flow down into whatever that counterparty is. And that's what I was saying. Like you have to pick your counterparty correctly, right? So for example, Blend, like Mick, they KYC their users. So with Blend, since we do all of the compliance, you can take that KYC token. It can be added into Blend system, and we can pass it to Franklin Templetons of the world, Securitize of the world, Van Eck Agora of the world, and you get these institutional yield sources. And then you actually have someone to point to and say, like, hey, it sits in this institutional. And they're T-bills. If you trust the American economy, you're getting a tokenized version of the American economy. I tell people there is no better way to save than a T-bill backed by America, right?
That's a pretty good point.
Right? There's no better way to say. And then if you want, you can build DeFi products. And we at Blend try to tell like neobanks, label them maybe not as savings products, but label them as investment products because they're getting higher yield. But what is yield really essentially? You're trading risk for reward. So if you're getting 11% yield, somewhere a buck could drop on that. Right. And that's where you need to figure out.
It's not just free money.
Yeah, we had anybody that was here in 2021 knows the risk involved to getting high yields.
I mean, even T-bills have their own risk. There's no such thing as a free lunch. But if I was going to put my money somewhere, holding it with Uncle Sam makes me feel a lot more warm and fuzzy, saying, hey, they got some good military power to make sure that thing always stays at that point, right?
So for the viewers watching, anybody that's never heard what a neobank is, so maybe you guys can explain what a neobank is. And because I know when I thought about it, like I think of like the Wealthsimples, the Robinhoods, like now Wealthsimple, you can deposit your paycheck on there and you can pay your bills on there. I don't think it's the same thing, and from what I'm hearing, it's not. Maybe you guys can explain the difference between these institutions that are now like trying to be the new bank. By offering, payments, buying equities, buying crypto, and all the kind of like the one-stop shop. Maybe you guys can explain the difference between the two.
Are you talking about like the Betterments and Chime?
So like Robinhood would be essentially the American version of like Wealthsimple,
right?
And then ShakePay is also a crypto platform that allows you to deposit your paychecks on there, buy crypto, and pay bills with their digital card.
I mean, I would say neobanks have a much less trading focus. It feels like Robinhood and a lot of these other companies are attaching on. It seems like everybody wants to be the all-in-one platform where you can just come and do literally everything. I can trade, I can do all this, I can do all that. But there's a large subset of customers that are not traders, right? And that's not who we're really trying to service. We're trying to service people who work in crypto, get paid in stable coins, and then have a vision for that expanding further and further into Web 2 over the years. And eventually we become the place that quote unquote normies land when they're looking for that bank-like experience. They want it to feel as familiar as possible. It's already going to be a leap for them to move to digital money. I can tell you, I volunteer in an office on Fridays, and a lot of older people come through and they'll ask what I do, and I'll mention crypto, and they'll be like, "Oh, I just like 70. I only have my checkbook and cash. I still don't even trust those. Like we're still so far away from being trusted that I think if you can change the UI and UX of the medium as much as possible to familiarize, it to Web 2, that you're much more likely to bring people over. So I don't know if Manny, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I will. I can add to it for sure. So I'll throw like a little bit of shock into this space. Modern Canadian, guess what? Wealthsimple is a neobank. I bet you a lot of people didn't. And Robinhood, I haven't looked deep enough, but it could be a neobank. So what is a neobank? It's someone that does not hold a traditional like bank license. So if you look at Wealthsimple, it actually operates as a fintech. It has a fintech.
Yes.
It's much closer to PayPal and co. And so these neobanks that are coming out in Web3, it's the same thing. Like you don't. And how we do it in Web3 is we can be non-custodial. The user owns their key, so we can operate in that way. So this is we're still fintech providers, and we're all like, they're still neobanks, right? And so this is what it is. And as these institutionals grow, they're going to try to become like get banking licenses. Wealthsimple might get a banking license, right? But what Wealthsimple does, it acts like a neo fintech, and underneath it probably does something very clever where it holds some of the money in some API wrapper, probably puts some of that money in. If you look at the fine print, it probably deposits eventually that the Canadian insured account is somewhere. If you look at a neobank like Brookfield, for example, their FDI insured accounts via Airbor. So they have the FDI. This is how these fintech companies work. So they're all neobanks. The way like fintech goes, like why Wealthsimple goes further, is that it operates basically like more of like a registered portfolio investor dealer, and that's how
Yes.
they make more of their money, right? And so this is what we're going to see in our thing. So like the artisanal classes of the like cash of the world, you're going to compete with them in a neobank space, but your goal is to niche down or figure something that you solve really well, right? And
Yeah.
how a lot of them are going to compete, because it's probably not going to be a winner take all. I don't bank.
Absolutely
I probably
not.
don't.
Yeah.
Modern cash, maybe a modern Canadian, maybe you bank at RBC, maybe I bank at TD, Mick maybe you bank somewhere like at JP Morgan Chase or wherever, right? And we all bank at all these different places because everyone has different needs of these. And the shapes and sizes, if I told you like the shapes and sizes of neobanks inside a blend, you'd be like, wow, these are really interesting. So shout out to Specie Finance. They help with people that are global traders in Brazil that settle trade like food, agriculture, and all that. And that's essentially a neobank, but they're so niche down because those people need to keep their money. And what's the biggest pain point? You need to pay on the other side. And that's a neobank that does very well, right? And
how many customers do you guys have now in the neobank space?
So right now we're inching closer to 20 using Blend right now. And I think we have about 45 in a different various pipelines, because some of the larger ones take a long time to actually integrate. So you'll see some huge announcements of some names that you'll be very, very surprised that are becoming in the neobank space, that hold right now $5-6 billion, and they're coming on chain very quickly. So like we just saw Western Union, they're coming on chain. But products like that, we're in deeper conversations. They're all coming on chain.
Well, they have to. That's literally their whole business model, sending money across the world, right? So it makes sense. But the first time I ever used, like for example, Wealthsimple, like the first thing I thought, like, this is the future. I'm never gonna have to go to a bank again, ever. Never gonna have to go
check this out. Is it available in the US too?
It's your Robinhood comparable. Just think about Robinhood, but for Canadians,
Like I use it for my retirement funds, my RRSPs,
that makes sense.
Like equivalent to your Roth IRAs. So I use it like that. But if I still have my bank account, I use BMO, right? But if I wanted to use it as my bank, I literally could. I could just put everything. It's all FDIC insured, same idea. Like, and I honestly, being in crypto for so long, going into a bank and waiting for a teller feels the worst. The worst.
I was literally
at ATM, Mike. I haven't been into a bank for years.
So, like, I just want to be able to do everything financial from my phone. You can't see it because it's black, but like,
we don't need banks. What are they?
I don't carry cash on me anymore. Like, I just don't want to have to deal with a teller. It's painful. Just let me do it from my phone, please. And then it's so much easier. And I truly want to be in stable coins. Like right now, like a lot of my money is in American dollars and stable coins because I don't want to hold the Canadian peso right now. So
come on, hold that Canadian dollar. We got that natural water and oil reserve. It'll come back. But
but right now.
Actually, if you want a shout out to another neobank that I really love, it's called Altitude. And
what is it?
Called Altitude.
Okay.
And they're really cool because you can run your modern business all on stable coins. It does not have any FDIC insured account. And when I talked to the team, they said, why do you need an FDIC insurance account? The stable circle dollar that they're using, USDC, technically has 1-to-1 reserves. So there should be no thing. So, and I was like, you're right. I don't need FDIC insurance for this. And so
still a lot to talk about in court, I feel like.
So that like woke me up, and I was like, this is crazy, right? This is really, I mean, can you trust Circle? I mean, they have proof of reserves, they're audited.
Right.
So when you're holding that $1.
Can you trust them more than anybody in Web 2? Like I've been telling this, my dad just got his Fidelity account shut down for trying to withdraw money to put into our friends and family round. Like, like it's horrible out there. You can't, where do you trust? It's just a new frontier. Banks, I think, lost a lot of trust in the financial crisis and the bailouts, and they were already on pretty like thin ice. And I think they've done a good job lobbying and trying to keep crypto down. But part of the reason my dad's account got so much scrutiny is that they have all these like voice activation things now. They're getting hit with scams just as much as we are in in Web 3. So it's like, we tend to think like, oh, there's so many scammers and like we're inside of this problem, but that bubble has a problem too. And it's going to be whoever solves that problem more efficiently for users in a way that's easy and approachable and makes sense. And then, bringing people into some, to me, decentralized is also like individual responsibility. It ties into a lot of other things that, we could get off on tangents in this space, and sometimes we do. I won't, but it's like that's the first like tangible step towards, I think, individual responsibility. So empowering people with their own finances to make these decisions, to have access to financial products like Blend and your guys' offerings, to be able to experiment and play. And how did anybody else ever learn in the markets, right? Like you just gotta get out there and do stuff, and absolutely. I think if you don't, like, there's more risk in not taking risk in today's economy than there is in not taking risk.
You should check out another shout out to another neobank. It's called Cero. They do upside. It's called upside banking. So it's CERO.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's run by a guy named MJ and Mix, great team out there. And they're basically, the idea is that like people want banking exciting and people actually want to have like prediction market style gambling inside their banks.
Yeah, and some people will.
And, yeah, exactly.
I feel like that's like so on brand for Ontario.
It kind of is. Yeah, it is. But
so Doran wanted me to make sure that I asked. She was like, we were a pretty small team when we came to you. What was it about Artisan that made Blend want to partner with us? I mean, we're very excited, obviously, to be working with you guys. It's a huge part of our stack and what we're offering. But yeah, like you talk to a lot of neobanks. What are the different things you're seeing out there, and what kind of stood out about Artisan?
Yeah, I think it like to like succeed in this space, you have to be like curious to solve like pain points. So like, and that's what really stuck about with you guys. It's like, I know for a fact your first original form factor will have so many needs and revamps on it. But like I saw you tweet out simply, who does payroll on chain? Like these are the right actions to make, because if you don't talk to the first 150 customers, you're not going to know what to actually build. And you don't need to build the everything app. You could serve, like, for example, species. Brazil is a big enough economy to serve one, but you could, Avio, which is another neobank that uses Blend, they serve just the Canadian economy, right? And so small businesses, so you can pick all the key is to really figure. And so that's what stuck out with your guys' team is like, hey, this team is very hungry and they want to solve these problems. Do they have the right like idea in the beginning? And I thought like, wow, pay bills. Like, yeah, a lot of people don't actually solve that problem. So let's see how much traction they get. And so our motto is like, we leave our ego at the door, even though we're serving neobanks that have huge amounts of treasuries. It doesn't matter, because like we want to be accessible to everybody. It's like everyone is trying to build, and you don't know who is going to be the like artisanal cash might be and will be probably the next Robin Hood in some frame in their market. So that's our goal. I think like companies that have snobberies about not helping and partnering with people is the wrong way. And that actually irks me the wrong way. The whole point of Web3 was to help people build quickly and these finance systems. So when you guys are building, we're more than help you. And we are crazy enough that we built an interoperability like neobank platform, or like a lot of people don't understand bridging. And the first thing they're going to do is trying to figure out how to move money. And you'll realize very quickly when you go online, if $100 is deposited by modern Canadian, he expects $100 on the other side. If 99.98 comes up, modern Canadian will be like, what are they doing? These are the problems that without a proper like like Blend, like, damn, didn't realize we lost money in this bridging transaction. And Blend knows like, okay, we should use CCIP, CCTP across all these things to make all movement of money. And We realized once we solve that small problem with you, then go flourish. Find your PMF. We're doing the easy part. You're doing the hard part.
Yeah.
Distribution.
What made
You're going to find the customers.
Decide to solve the problem you're solving? What experiences or what were you guys seeing in the market that said, hey, there's going to be a demand for this compliance and infrastructure to tap into this next generation of banks?
I think like what we saw is like when we built, like we help like build and grow across protocol and like UMA, which is like Polymark and Uniswap. When we see like people are going to build like these compliance systems, but they're really not going to know how to build it because like Uniswaps, these are all unique things. So how do we take them, build an account level style? Because everything that was out for compliance right now was like chain oriented, like chain analysis, TRM. We wanted like an account level style of it. And we wanted everything that would be a single API. So like it'll take care of our bridging for you, take care of compliance for you. And then the next thing is we're realizing that big businesses like, right, if modern Canadian brings his $50 million Canadian treasury on chain, he's probably not going to put it into a DeFi position. He probably wants to connect to an institutional yield source. Like that is going to be a T-bill product. And so we want to solve that problem. It's like, the next challenge is how do you get big businesses to trust to deposit large sums of money? Right now, if you look at all these DeFi protocols, they're all farming money. They all these smaller users. It's all the recycled capital over and over again, farming for like tokenomics and things like that. But when the real businesses come on, they don't care if you give them 50 basis points or 100 basis points. They care about is where the hell is my money? I need it now. Is it
and
safe?
To have access.
And that's where like we saw in Blend. It's like, how do we connect the blockchain users to institutional customers? And that's what we are. So if you think of Blend, our final state is going to be a Plaid-like product for Web3. That's what we want to be, a Plaid-like connector to banks. And that's why we're still bullish on institutionals coming on chain. We want the accredited licensed products out there because they give customer like safety, which is one thing that I think blockchain is crying for. Like licenses are not a bad thing. Safety in like what Franklin Templeton or JP Morgan Chase offers is not a bad thing. Right. FDIC,
customer service is also not a bad thing. And I think most of Web3 thinks they're immune to that. Not that, and I have Bank of America, not to say that they have the best customer service, but somebody eventually answers the phone there. I'm not left in a Discord on red for 3 months.
But this is an opportunity for you guys, right? So like these traditional banks are going to come in. You can tap into them as like a neobank fintech product. You can use their FDI's insurance and stuff. And then you take that customer experience so high and people are going to be willing to pay for it. They're going to willing to pay to bank on artisanal cash because you take the pain points away. And this is why I was saying that why we're bullish on you guys is that you'll figure out a way to solve a unique pain point and you'll grow from 0 to 100, right?
Dorn's crazy, man. That guy.
I think a lot of institutions
20 hours a day. I don't know.
I think a lot of institutions also just get comfortable with like, oh, we have, this is already working. Like, why do I need this? Like, you have to like really, and that's where the safety comes in because I have a lot of money. Like when you start making, you take a little risk to make some money, make some capital. And then naturally, as you make more capital, you diversify the capital, spread your risk out. You don't want to have more risk. So we're dealing with $50 million. You don't want to have any risk. That's why I was like, I probably could make more money, but I'm going to put in T-bills. Because I know the American economy is going to be okay, right? Because they want that money every month.
And that's what I think it's like that's like the biggest primitive, right? So like Mick, you're going to build these great experiences on payments and all that, but then you're going to want like a small business to bank with you that has a $10 million balance. And they're going to be like, well, Mick, you solve my lightning speed money problem quick. But I still only want a T-bill yield product because I still want that a $10 million to be safe. And maybe they'll put some of it in another protocol that gives 11-12%, and they may want to farm a little bit extra yield on that. But it's going to be a mix, right? And this is like where this is where like we're going to smash in TradFi and crypto. And I always say at crypto, we were very wrong. I don't think crypto is going to eat TradFi. I think we're just going to shake hands really nicely and say, hey, I'll move money to you very quickly.
On-chain finance.
Blockchain finance,
I've been liking that term lately.
I think there's going to be a point, though, where institutions realize like these T-bills are paying you 3-4%. Yeah, it might be safe, but when you factor in inflation, you're losing money because the purchasing power of those dollars are getting less and less. And then I think you're going to have an intersection where they start to realize, at least for Bitcoin and maybe some, strategic reserves holding crypto might come into play, because you can't be just getting 3-4% in the face of high inflation, and interest rates are not going back to zero anytime soon unless we have a catastrophe. I think you're going to get to a point where they're realizing that they're losing money in this trade, and they're going to have to hold better assets. And being in crypto is the way to do it. In my opinion, I think you get way more yield safely, like risk adjusted yield, in crypto than you can in fiat.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And but like the way I dial it down is like, look at like what is the advent that crypto is allowed. So like a lot more people are making money on chain via trading on prediction markets and all that. And this is also goes down to your same state where people are saying, maybe 3-4% yield is not enough for them to like sustain their money. So that's why we're seeing a lot more riskier things like Hyperliquid. There's so many trades on there.
Yeah.
I mean, a modern Canadian like Wealthsimple makes a bag of money, just people trading on their platform left, right, and center, right? And that's like such a good like platform for them. But I think we'll have to separate this. Like the average user may care about like more yield and stuff, but a small business with the larger balances will probably go with the safer choice, because their business generates more yield for them than their yield farming. It's like you're like a traditional business like Stripe. You're making 60% year after year returns on your business. Are you really going to put it in a riskier asset? Probably not.
Yeah, I saw it. So we've been, obviously just come across research stuff, and, we've seen crypto bill pay search terms up like 2,700% year over year, really bullish for us. DeFi yield is down like massively in the last year, the number of searches. And I'm sure it corresponds to all the hacks and all the money that's been lost in the system. And we've definitely taken like a reputational hit. But yeah, I don't think the appetite is quite there. And like, yield may not be the enticing, at least for consumers. Definitely for consumers, it's not going to be, we can't lead with it right now.
No, and like most of the consumers, like you, even Dorian, he's picked inside of configuring artisanal cash is very conservative, right? And the goal really is for you guys is like you're creating this great customer experiences. So when the users do come, having 0% on idle money versus a few points is a nice to have for you guys. Also, as banks, you grow your own balances. This is another revenue line for you, right? If you have $50 million, $100 million deposits, and you guys are making 50, 60 bips on that, that's a nice revenue line for you. While you can use that to spend on marketing or other consumer lines to like build your product even like faster or better.
Yeah. I love it. Well, what does the next 6 months look like for you guys? You're launching.
Oh, I think we lost her.
I think we did. Yeah.
Well, I think where she was going to go was
20 neobanks.
Oh, there we go. She's back. Kind of.
There we go. Okay. You guys left me, and I was like, I'm just going to keep talking and maybe they'll come back.
You're talking into the void.
Yeah, so you probably heard launching. You guys have about 20 neobanks in the pipeline. What's next for you guys? Are you really gonna like hunker down in this first cohort that goes live and iterate and get user feedback and figure out what, or are we more in expansion mode? Are you guys gonna go after new targets and new streams of revenue?
Yeah, I mean, like some of the newer ones that you'll see announced, like, payroll products are launching on like traditional payroll providers are launching yield using Blend. And like the system is quite interesting. Like it naturally expands to think, for example, Blend has created what we call like a KYC Blend standard. So it's adopted by all these like institutional yield sources. But now when we got our first, like, for example, we've been talking to WireX and they're willing to adopt this standard. So that means like, Nick, you need a WireX card for one of your things. You're already in the Blend system. We can automatically connect you and pass. And that extends into stocks and other things. So it's like we keep saying, it's a Plaid-like connection. We want to help you guys connect to all the institutional things that have compliance and KYC needs. And we'll keep doing that. But always the scary thing when you're building a business is you do too much too soon. So we're seeing huge PMF in this. we'll keep dialing it down. And the goal is like, we're not really done. The job's not done until every single traditional business is on chain, including farmers like my parents that did blueberry farming. That money should be sitting on chain, right?
100%.
And that will be the key. And so that's our goal. So we want to get to all 4,000 big companies in the world using blockchain services. So if they're
amazing,
where
do you see that timeline? What's your horizon for when we see it like maybe cross 50% on chain?
I think like,
what are we at now? 10% maybe?
I would say we're probably at like 2% maybe right now. And you know, I think we see it by 2029. I think basically the whole financial system will be turned. You know what it is like the biggest insight
agents are speeding it up. So
agents are speeding it up too. But like, you know, I was talking to a few like classical businesses that are coming on chain, and I was like, oh, how come you're changing? He's like, you know, ACH, Swift, and all these things. But like having even a 6, 7, or 10% savings on your back end office when you're moving billions is an easy way to please your investors. You know what I mean? We did nothing except for change the technology stack. And guess what? Ta-da, 10% more revenue. And so that is literally going to be
pretty cool all of a sudden.
Right? It's cool. Like, oh, it's safe. And you made 10% more revenue and you did nothing else. Investors are going to be like, all right, your business is
100%. And then, we'll have to go through the growing pains of that. And I'm sure we'll have, you know, hacks or like things go wrong. And then we'll have to defend, you know, we've been going through that for years as an industry, but to be getting to the point where actual large Web2 institutions are thinking about moving substantial portions of their portfolios and reserves online, I wouldn't have dreamt of that 3 years ago. I don't think.
I think the movement of money is like, for sure, crypto's down the PMF there. We do it the fastest. We do it the safest. It's usually never any hacks around that. We'll need to figure out this like whole like DeFi big money pot situations that we have, and I think the financial institutions coming in, it'll help us get the right compliance and needs needed, because it's always about consumer protection. I always I'm touting consumer protection, and that's, you believe that too. And decentralization basically means consumer protection in a hip way to say this, right? And so that, and then my other wish is completely to see Bitcoin. Come on, you should get back over 100K Bitcoin. Like, get that fire going. You know what I mean? Get that fire going, because that is also the staple of finance too. I think it's a great asset. You can move. You're not copying Michael Saylor, even though he's kind of a cop-out right now of how he acts. It's just like the movement of energy across the globe in lightning speed is beautiful. And
nobody can be perfect. Never meet your heroes, right? Like,
I mean, I met him one time in Vegas, and he was very pleasant. But I do think like Ethereum, I'm very bullish on. I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. I'll even say I'm bullish on XRP Ripple, and that's only because I'm in the institutional products. I think people have misjudged Stellar, and they're doing a good job out there. And so I think there's going to be a lot of great tokens. And I think we should actually technically maybe even bring ICOs back somehow, because investors, and I mean, you're raising, it's a difficult time.
I've been hearing just in the different chats we're having about raising. I mean, there's some similar, it sounds like an ICO to me, right? So that would be kind of maybe shifting that way.
And I saw a tweet before this that they're going to allow ICOs probably that be like unregistered with the SEC if it's under 5 million. So that could be kind of cool. I mean, so all of this, like the tokenization has allowed a lot of financial freedom. And this is also part of the financial freedom. People should be able to get into these companies a lot more earlier. As you know, like, you see all these visas. Oh, I got into OpenAI. Of course you got into OpenAI. You're in a special like elite group. Oh, I got into OpenAI. Of course you got in.
Exactly.
But like, how does like the regular people get in? And tokenization is actually part of that financial freedom.
Yeah. And like betting on people and your friends that you know, like I joked, like, you know, Artisan is my creator coin. I would never launch a creator coin, but like, this is how I view this. Like, if you believe in me and you've known me over the years and seen the work I've done, this is it, right? So lots of different ways of thinking about value and value of a person being somehow tokenized, not necessarily directly as creators, but betting on a young Elon Musk at a early age and things like that. Like, it does. It's an exciting time to be alive. Mike, we have a couple minutes left. What other questions do you have?
I was going to say, I was surprised by your timeline of 2029. See, there's two, I'm going to split it in half because yes, I agree with you with the financial rails being upgraded and a crap ton more money is going to be coming on chain institutionally. But the average Joe, to tell them to use crypto right now, I've always thought about this as a generational thing. Like the millennials are the last generation that knew both worlds, the analog and the more digital world, right? And like my daughter, for example, she may never ever value holding a physical piece of cash. Like she will never feel the need to hold cash. So that generation, in my opinion, she's 7, by the way, that generation will be more likely because they just know it's digital. They've never known anything else but being digital online. You know what I mean? Like the average Joe will probably look for to use blockchain, or the other way to think of it is like your 50% number is like they're using and they don't know it. That's where I think we get
and that's what I'm going to say. Like let's break this down like analytically. What is the difference between your digital dollar today that you can use e-transfer or Venmo in the US versus crypto rails? There is no difference to the physical user. So what I tell people is that the issue is that you don't need to know. So if Mick does her job correctly, when you use artisanal cash, it should be a neobank, not a crypto neobank. It should be a neobank.
It just feels like a bank.
Yes. And so even on and off ramping won't even feel like an issue because that stuff will be all like taken away, right? Shout out to people that have a crappy on and off ramping. Use blink.trade. One of my good friends has built that product, so go check it out.
Amazing. Say it one more time. LINK.trade.
Yeah, blink.trade. Or is it
Blink?
Blink, yeah. Blink.cash. Oh no, blink. Let me see. It's Blink Cash. It's called
Blink.cash.
Yeah, blink.cash. And so basically they've made the Apple Pay version of this, and that's the thing. So modern Canadian, I just think that like it's not people that move economies, and I'm a strong believer that small businesses and businesses move economies. And if you ever saw my voting history, and I want to release it as a Canadian here, but I'm always pro helping small businesses and businesses in general. I believe you empower.
Me and you're on the same boat, and they're
okay, cool. Yeah, if you empower businesses, they may not get it right all the time, but they are the ones that put the money and food on people's tables, and so they'll make the right decision that empowers. I mean, I'm a capitalist, even though I'm a social capitalist being Canadian, but I'm a capitalist. They usually make the right decisions on the back end. And if Western Union did it, that means they save enough money to do it. So then
businesses are just trying to make the world better. The entire point of being an entrepreneur is to solve a problem and have people have their lives better.
That's supposed to be it. Yes.
That's true capitalism.
And the world, I mean, the other reason why I'm so 2029 before 2030 is that the rate of innovation is so much quicker with the advent of AI. So why a traditional business may already start on crypto rails today,
right?
And they'll win because they'll be cheaper, faster settlement, and then traditional businesses will just die. They're like, well, we can't compete up with this, and so that's
the onboarding curve with AI and education. Like I taught myself AI with AI. We'll be able to teach ourselves any app with the AI within the app. The onboarding is going to become automated. We're not going to have to be out there telling everybody go get a MetaMask, go do this step, go do my 100th tutorial.
We're pretty much there. We're pretty much there. When you're logged into Artisanal Cash, you generate a wallet for the users, which is a privy wallet. So you don't even think about a wallet, right? And so, if the user wants to export their keys, and they can, right?
They can.
But you take away that experience. So we're already basically there, and the blockchain financial system will just be the financial system, basically. And so that's why if I could say 2028, people think I'm a crazy technologist. So I'll say 2029. And I like to do those because I enjoy Elon Musk. He makes brash, quick things like everyone's going to be using a robot by next week. And we're like, okay,
I I'm going to save this clip. Mike, remember this. And in 2029, when Manny's like blown up and he's onboarded all the 4,000 major, financial institutions, we'll have some memes of Manny saying 2028, 2029. The world will be online on-chain finance.
Dude, there's so much money in the world. Like I can't even remember how many trillions it is, and just 1% in the crypto is like insane. Like your bags, if you're holding Bitcoin, they're gonna go up like crazy. So like 21 million Bitcoin. Right?
I mean, that's why I haven't sold I haven't sold a single Bitcoin. I don't plan to. My thesis
you don't need to now. You can borrow against it.
You can borrow against it, right? And I don't even borrow against it. I'm one of those like lock it up and never think about it kind of thing. It's not sitting on those goofy.
Don't use a cold card.
No cold card. My theory is that if it is, it'll be a proper like a proper vehicle for storage of wealth. I know we have a dream that Bitcoin will be spendable, but I think it'll be a storage of wealth more. And like Ethereum and all the things will be like the computing power of the world for like a block space. And that'll basically happen. We are impatient as blockchain people. I think that's why we have these rapid swings. It's like, why hasn't this altcoin gone up 9,000% today?
I've been holding this 24 hours.
Dead project, right? Everyone's
you know how many times I have to tell people like, hey man, you make 30% on a coin. It's pretty good. Yeah, like you ain't gonna get that in the traditional markets. Like you're getting like if you're buying, like for example, Bitcoin now, we just go to its previous price at 126. You're getting like over 100%. You don't get that anywhere else. It doesn't make sense.
People, the best way to buy Bitcoin, and this is not financial advice, is buy a little bit amount every week, every year, and just forget about it. I read a stat. Someone check me online if I'm wrong about this, but the people that end up being the wealthiest people, when you go to these historically, it's usually the guy that passed away and forgot to check his account because he never spent his money, and then he was just in the S&P 500.
It gets too tempting when you have it.
How did Grandpa be a janitor, made $40 million? Well, he was being in the stock market for 40, 50 years, just compounding his regular paycheck, and that's it, right? And
that's insane.
It's insane.
They had a study done where they literally had a monkey throw darts at a dartboard with stocks to pick stocks, and it was basically comparing active investing versus passive investing, and the monkey outperformed the active investor just by compounding over a long period of time, not touching it.
I agree. I think it's the dopamine, right? We love the dopamine. Who doesn't like to get one stock? So I think that's what it is. Human nature likes a little bit of thrill. Nothing better than playing the 24-hour biggest casino of the world.
That's right.
Of a coin with a dog on it or a monkey on it, and you're just hoping, I'm going to be a millionaire on this dog coin. Right?
I know.
And human nature.
It's like you like to have the chance or the opportunity. There's so much power in possibility,
I'm a sap. I think it's beautiful. I love when people have hope for everything. Just do it responsibly, right? And you should have fun in life. This is the longest thing you're going to do in your perception, but have fun doing it. FOMO app, look how well they're doing. They're making crazy amounts of money, people meme trading and everything can be done in a responsible way. So we should never make fun of NFTs or meme coins. They all have a place in this free financial system. If we start saying that's wrong, then we've lost the ways of crypto, because now we're judging
my Super Yetis.
Right? That's what mass adoption is. It's like something for everybody. Everybody has a place to be in this space. You can't just say
building a new
this
world.
Or that,
it's
right?
the digital. These are all the experiences.
You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it, but
I think NFTs are coming back.
Yeah.
I think NFTs are coming back.
What about the metaverse? Are we gonna have another go at the metaverse?
I don't know.
I think it'll be some way, but look, I think the way the AI is happening, and I think it's what the best thing about humanity is we're crafty. We'll find new ways to earn revenue, and it could be in a metaverse way, and
it'd be the AR verse.
Yeah, or the ER verse, and more basically what is money is the exchange of value for something that someone finds deemed. Like we're exchanging time for money or exchanging value. So if a modern Canadian playing like Fortnite and I want to buy an axe from him, I'm okay to give him 70 fun, stable coin dollars because he spent maybe 71 hours getting that axe for me. And so these are what this like tokenized economy will allow us to do, because we find every single thing unique and valuable to our own perception. We just never had a way to express it. And so the blockchain and tokenization lets to express things in such a cool, transferable way. And humanity is shifting from being a physical world to a virtual world. And we need an economy to catch up with it.
And a scarcity to an abundance one, because the better allocation of resources and there's so much hope. I get excited when Elon talks
about
like
scarcity, right? We like scarcity too. Remember, that works in our favor. So like 21 million Bitcoin. That's the reason why we like it. It's like, guess what, modern Canadian? I got 20 of them. You got 5. You're gonna miss out, right? And
I don't want scarcity of food in like third world countries, though. Those are the problems that I like. Look, yes, we can have scarce Bitcoin, but everybody should be able to eat. And there's no reason there is enough resources in the world, and if we can move money faster, maybe we can move the stuff faster.
We gotta fix bad governments. That's most of the reason why they don't have food.
Look, I agree. We should fix that thing. But like everyone, I talked to someone pretty recently. He's like, first world poverty is the same. It feels a lot different to second world poverty and third world poverty. So somebody that's living in the first world, they also have some needs that we were like, oh, well, you have your food, but like it's still some form of poverty too, right? And so it's really hard to put that label saying the guy in third world deserves much more of a break than a guy that's a struggling mother in first world. You're like, well, you have a job. Well, maybe $7 an hour doesn't solve it. So there's still poverty, right? And so there's like angles to this game. And I think like the only thing we can do is like create the movement of money freely, allow multiple ways to make money via an opportunity. And if we do that, we remove all the gates and then let humanity be as creative as possible, and they'll make money, right? Some way, right? And that's
I love it. You reduce dependence on organizations and employ. The gig economy is being built all around us right now.
And that's just beautiful, right? Because like you have a 7-year-old, I have a 9-year-old, right? And like, what are they going to do? I don't know, but I don't know what they're going to do, but I hope that like the economy or the financial system that we've like put into place, because this is like a whole new one from our, like, this is like 400 or 500 years of legacy that we're building a new one. We put this in place, and like, I want to be live enough to alive long enough to see them do something creative with this. Damn, I didn't think you were going to do this shit with this money, but good for you to make your money, right? Dad was trading Dawn coins with this, and I thought I was cool. You're doing something really cool with
this. This is the best timeline. Like, it's easy to get down and focus on the negatives, but like, what a more incredible time with more innovation and more.
I don't code. I'm building a game. I don't know any of this stuff. Like, without AI, this is not even possible.
I'll play like kids again.
Yeah.
This is like abundance mindset is the best way to go. It is the best time to be alive. Is there always going to be hardship? Yeah, but like I'm pretty sappy. If there wasn't a little bit of hardship, what would be the point of living life? I think we'd be all
boring, right?
I mean, we all cook up a little bit of drama in our life just once in a while, just to see if you're alive, right? So
we can't live. We'll create it, right? We can't sit with ourselves. Well, this has been an amazing show. We're a little bit over. Thank you so much for coming on tonight, Manny. Again, it's been amazing partnering with you guys so far. Looking forward to many years of that in the future. Mike, thank you for, again, hosting an amazing show and doing all the amazing effects that you do, like the music.
Thank you. The technicals, but guys, thank you so much for popping in for another episode of the Adoption Pod. Manny, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for spending the time with us, and we'll see you guys next week on the Adoption Pod every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Take care, guys.
Thanks.
Turn it up one more time. You already know what it is. Yeah. Yo, we back at the end. Yeah. yeah, that's wild. And the episode down, added to the file. From the stories to the laughs to the real talk too. You pulled up, press play, let us ride with you. Crypto combos, guests from everywhere. Big ideas, real voices in the air. If you made it this far, then you already know we're building for the future, watch adoption grow. Let's go! This is Adoption Pod. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for watching, y'all. Thank you. Hit play, hit like, hit share. Click, click, click. We'll be right back, right there. Adoption Pod. Yeah, we love this squad. We do. To the next low drop. Next one. Keep the fam love running non-stop. Adoption Pod. Shout out the parents, the kids, the crew, the ones in the system. Yeah, we see you too. Every voice, every journey, every I got through. You the reason that we do what we do. From the first time listeners to the day one strong. If you learn one thing, then we did our job. Mass adoption, one combo at a time. Tapping next week, yeah, you know the vibe. This is Adoption Pod. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for watching, y'all. Hit play, hit like, hit share. Don't forget, we'll be right back, right there. Adoption Pod. Let's go. Yeah, we love this squad. Family to the next low drops. Keep the fam love running non-stop. From your couch, from your car, late night scroll. If you laughed, if you learned, and we hit that goal. Drop a comment, a story that you wanna explore. We'll be back next week with a little bit more. Let's go. This is Adoption Pod. Thanks for watching, y'all. Hit play, hit like, hit share. Run it up. We'll be right back, right there. Adoption Pod. Yeah, we love this squad. To the next low drops. Next week, keep the fam love running non-stop. Adoption Pod. Adoption Pod. Yeah, see you next episode.